somewhere between one thought and the next 10 minutes. Her entire body will convince her something is wrong. What happens next explains why.
Before her alarm even rings, her heart is already racing. Somewhere between sleep and waking, her body decided something was wrong. It isn't fear of anything specific. Her chest tightens, her hands go cold, and her thoughts scatter before she's even out of bed. By the time she reaches the kitchen, her mind is already rehearsing a conversation that hasn't happened yet and may never happen the way she fears. Nothing bad has happened today. No deadline, no conflict, no threat in sight, and yet her body is behaving as if something already has. This isn't about one bad morning. For millions of people, this exact spiral repeats itself, quietly, almost every single day. She'll pour the same coffee 3 mornings this week and drink almost none of it. Her hands need something to hold more than her body needs caffeine. Before she leaves the apartment, she'll practice her expression in the hallway mirror, adjusting it until it looks like nothing at all is wrong. She left 5 minutes early today, thinking extra time would calm her down. Instead, the extra minutes just gave her nervous system more room to spiral. Around her, strangers scroll their phones, sip coffee, chat quietly. To them, this is an ordinary Tuesday. To her, it feels like standing on a ledge. For 1 second on the bus, she closes her eyes and just breathes. It doesn't fix anything. But for a moment, it makes the noise quieter. What she's experiencing has a name, a mechanism, and a predictable pattern. It starts with a single thought most people wouldn't even notice. One passing thought. That's all it takes. Not danger itself, just the idea of danger is enough to set the entire spiral into motion. A meeting moved up by 20 minutes shouldn't matter. But for her, it's enough to send her pulse climbing before she's read a single detail. Her heart rate can spike to match a full sprint, even while she's sitting perfectly still in an empty conference room. She'll invent a reason to step into the hallway. A forgotten notebook, a phone call that doesn't exist, anything to buy 60 seconds alone. Ordinary sounds start to feel louder. A dropped stapler, a ringing phone 2 desks away, her own name spoken slightly too fast. Later that evening, a wall of cereal boxes at the grocery store becomes strangely unbearable. Too many choices, too much noise, too little room to think. She'll leave the cart exactly where it is, walk straight to her car, and sit there for a full minute before she can turn the key. By midnight, her body is exhausted, but her mind refuses to follow. She'll count backward from 100 and lose track before she reaches 60. At 3 in the morning, her thoughts loop without permission, replaying conversations that never happened and inventing outcomes that never will. Round and round, the same thought returns, spinning without ever arriving anywhere new, exactly like the fan turning quietly above her bed. The next morning, concealer covers the shadows under her eyes, but nothing covers how depleted she feels before the day has even started. Racing heart, sleepless nights, grocery aisles, hallway escapes, different scenes, same root cause. It's time to understand what's actually driving all of it. Deep inside the brain sits a small alarm system, the amygdala, built for one job: detect danger and react before conscious thought can catch up. The alarm reacts in a fraction of a second, long before her thinking mind even knows what triggered it. By the time she notices, her body has already responded. To this alarm system, an imagined criticism from a boss feels almost identical to a real physical threat. Within seconds, adrenaline and cortisol flood her body, sharpening her senses and quickening her heart, preparing a body for danger that was never actually there. This system evolved to save us from predators on an open plain. It was never designed to handle inboxes, deadlines, or a single unread message. Every time this alarm fires, the pathway that triggered it gets a little stronger, a little faster, a little easier to activate the next time. Then comes a second wave. Her mind starts interpreting the racing heart itself as proof that something is seriously wrong, and the spiral tightens further. A racing heart becomes evidence of a real emergency. A tight throat becomes evidence of losing control. Each thought adds fuel to the exact fire it fears. The body, hearing the mind's alarm, escalates further still. Faster breath, tighter chest, a wave of dizziness. The loop feeds itself, again and again. Sometimes the only response left is to move. Down a stairwell, away from the room, chasing any distance that might loosen the grip. Rapid, shallow breathing throws off the body's carbon dioxide balance, which is exactly what causes the tingling fingers, the dizziness, the feeling of unreality. At its peak, the response can feel indistinguishable from a real emergency. Chest tightness, shaking hands, a certainty that something is deeply, urgently wrong. However intense it feels, this response is chemically incapable of lasting forever. Most peaks fade within 10 minutes, whether she fights it or not. One thought triggers an alarm. The alarm floods the body with chemicals. The mind misreads those chemicals as danger. That misreading fuels the alarm again. Understanding the mechanism doesn't make it disappear. Knowing why the alarm goes off doesn't stop her from reaching for solutions that don't actually work. She downloaded a meditation app 3 months ago. Tonight, like most nights, she'll stare at the icon for a while and never actually open it. She tries counted breathing, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. It's working until a neighbor's door slams and her count resets back to 0. A glass of wine might quiet the noise for an hour, but it doesn't touch the alarm system underneath, and by morning, the spiral is often louder. Making a to-do list feels productive, like taking control. But for her, it often becomes one more surface to project anxious energy onto. Just relax is easy to say and nearly impossible to do on command. Advice like this often makes her feel more alone with it, not less. Some days, the easiest way to outrun the spiral is to simply work harder, staying later than she needs to, avoiding the stillness where it grows loudest. She cancels dinner with a friend, calling it self-care. It brings short-term relief, but each cancellation quietly shrinks the size of her world. Good intentions pile up quietly: a journal, a gym membership, a self-help book with a bookmark stuck on page 12 for months. For a week, she tries to fix everything at once: perfect sleep, daily meditation, clean eating. The pressure to do it all perfectly becomes its own stressor. By the second week, the chart falls behind, then stops entirely. The spiral returns, and now guilt about the failed plan comes along with it. None of this means she lacks willpower. It means the spiral runs on biology, not discipline, and biology doesn't respond to being lectured into silence. If the usual fixes don't work, it isn't because something is wrong with her. It's because she's been aiming at the wrong target the entire time. The first real shift isn't fighting the feeling, it's naming it. "This is my alarm system firing," she says quietly, and something in her chest loosens. 2 short inhales through the nose, 1 long exhale through the mouth. It's called a physiological sigh, and it can calm a racing heart in under a minute. Splashing cold water on her face triggers the dive reflex, slowing her heart rate on purpose. The same bathroom, the same sink, a completely different intention. Movement helps burn through the same chemicals the alarm just released. A brisk walk through the park isn't a distraction. It's the body finishing what it started. Recovery doesn't require a perfect plan. Sometimes it just requires enough space to let the body finish the process it already knows how to complete. This time, she doesn't cancel. She tells a friend, plainly, what's been happening, and finds that saying it out loud makes it noticeably smaller. A racing heart doesn't have to mean danger. It can simply mean her body is activated. Same sensation, a completely different, less frightening interpretation. Instead of fixing everything at once, she commits to 2 minutes of stillness once a day. Small enough to actually keep, which is exactly the point. Small shifts accumulate quietly, unnoticed until they aren't. The same chipped mud from the very first scene now sits differently in her daily rhythm. For some people, the spiral needs more than self-guided tools. A therapist trained in anxiety can help retrain the alarm system directly and safely. She returns to the same grocery aisle that once overwhelmed her, this time staying just a little longer than she's comfortable, on purpose. She glances at her watch, not to escape, but to remind herself of something she now knows. Whatever this feeling is, it will pass within minutes. The same exposed brick wall that has framed every quiet morning in this apartment now catches warm afternoon light instead of cold, early dread. Breathing, movement, naming the feeling, staying a little longer than instinct wants. None of it erases the alarm, but together it changes what happens next. A notification pings. Her chest tightens, right on cue. But this time, she catches it in the first second, names it, breathes, and lets it pass. The alarm system never fully switches off, and it isn't supposed to. What's changed is how much power it has over the rest of her day. Evening settles over the apartment differently now. Not silence born from exhaustion, but a stillness she actually chose for herself. The same chipped mug that once sat untouched on countless mornings now warms her hands while she actually drinks from it, slowly, without rushing. Her phone lights up with a message from work. She glances at it, feels the familiar flicker, and lets it pass without following it anywhere. The same park path, walked at an entirely different pace now. Not escaping anything, just walking, because it feels good to move. The alarm was never the enemy. It was simply doing its job too loudly, too often. Learning its language changed everything that came after. Tomorrow, the alarm may fire again. That's simply what it does. But now she knows exactly what to do with it, one quiet breath at a time. If this helped you understand your own mind a little better, like this video, tell us your story in the comments, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more.